so much for coming out this evening. And I just want to take this opportunity to introduce to you the end of the evening, our speaker for tonight. What I want to tell you is that this gentleman knows all the information. He's going to share that with you. And he's a leader by example. So not only does he know the information, but he puts the information into action. But the greatest thing is that he loves to help people. And so that's why we're here this evening, right? So that he can share this information, and hopefully you will be able to take advantage of that and move forward and do something with it, right? Because knowledge is power, that's what they say, but the truth is applied knowledge is power, right? Because you can know a lot of things and just be like a library with books, but if you don't apply what you know, then it's useless. And this gentleman will be able to help you to apply that knowledge. So without any further ado, please help me bring to the front and welcome C. Thomas Gangrel.
I had to get a kiss. You know. All right, so how's everyone doing? All right, I'm excited to be here today. I'm home. You know, I'm in Tampa, Florida. I ate dirt in Belmont Heights out there at the park. So I understand what it means to really come home. And the young lady that introduced me, she didn't say anything about herself, but that is my lovely wife, Shamira Gambrell. And she said it exactly how I wrote it, right? But, you know, this young lady, you know, came into my life at a time when there was a lot of shadows around me. Does that make sense? You know, she came in and brought some sunshine into my life. So I call her Sunshine. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But I'm just really happy to be here, and I'm thankful that she's here to experience this. We're launching something that's going to be phenomenal. It's been in the works for, you know, several years, and everything has just kind of come together. So I wanted to come back home to Tampa to launch that. And we are broadcasting Facebook Live, so people from across the country will have an opportunity to experience what's about to take place. And it's really about preparation to own. And when the young lady came into my life that just introduced me, I was in a situation where some things really needed to change. Because I had gone through high school and college and worked professionally, very successful career on Wall Street as a software engineer, and made a lot of money, you know, got bored with that and decided that I wanted to be an owner, you know, to be an entrepreneur. So after 7 years of working, I basically went out on my own and became an entrepreneur and had some success with that. But like a lot of people, the year 2008 hit. And 2008 was very trying for me for a couple of reasons. This is my lovely wife, but we are both on our second marriage. And in 2008, I was on my first marriage, but it was actually declining. And I found myself in a 3-month time period separating from my former spouse, exiting my home and leaving my 3 children with my former spouse. A month later, I went into a meeting on a Wednesday. I was on a project at a company that was involved in real estate development, had a 3-year contract with that company. We were working on some learning initiatives. I was basically the director of learning technologies for that company, a global company, 12,000 employees across the world. You've heard of the company, Cushman & Wakefield, probably, right? They own a lot of property, but they also manage buildings. And we had a trickle-down effect from the real estate bubble. So it didn't happen right away, but the impact was that I walked into a meeting on a Wednesday, and I was told that my last day was Friday. And not only did I get that message, there were 600 other people that got that same message. Your last day is on Friday. And what I found was exiting the home, now I don't have income, and something really needed to change. And what I realized is that although I had a tremendous education, Ivy League education, software engineer, computer science degree, worked on Wall Street as a software engineer, developing systems globally for companies like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and Cushman and Wakefield, and the list goes on as it relates to the companies that I've been able to go into. But I realized as an entrepreneur, I was not really prepared for ownership. Because if I was really prepared for ownership as a consultant and an entrepreneur, the downturn in an economy shouldn't have such an adverse effect on my life. And I found myself, and some of you might know people like this, I was basically what they call the silent homeless. I was silently homeless, meaning that I was not out on the streets, right? But I was sleeping on my mother's recliner, one of my kids on the sofa, the other two on the blow-up bed. I was sleeping in my father's extra bedroom. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? And that was the situation that I found myself in 2008. And I realized that I was not prepared. I was not prepared with all of the education, with all of the information that I share with individuals about entrepreneurship. I was not prepared for the adverse effect that a downturn in an economy could have, or the change in a relationship could have, or the residential, dislocation, could have on an individual. And it was at that time that I decided, hey, I need to figure out a way not only to, help myself, because when you go onto an airplane, they have that message, right? They talk about if the plane crashes, like that's the first thing you want to hear when you get on the plane, right? Just in case the plane crashes, right? And the airbag deploys, what do they tell you to do? Put your mask on first and then assist the people that might be traveling with you, if it's a children or an elderly person. So I realized I had to first put my mask on as it relates to being better prepared for ownership and entrepreneurship and things like that. But then also, I wanted to be in a position to assist some other people. So that's why I come home. I have family members in the audience today. I have childhood friends in the audience. I have friends of my parents, in the audience. And I wanted to bring it home first as it relates to this initiative and what we're looking to do over the next several weeks, months, and years with this entire concept of preparation to own. So as we